What's up guys, today we have a driving test leaving from South Yardley. Quite drastically different from my channel I know, but I'll be covering it a lot more at the moment so you guys can see what the roads are like there. So this test is going to show you what the roads are like roughly about 2:30. As you can see, the roads are a little bit tighter to begin with. There's lots of passing parked vehicles and it's quite a built up area. The same as leaving Garrett's Green, if you're down this road it is all about the mirror checks when you're passing the parked cars. If you skip all of them all the way down here, you could end up with 4 minors nearly straight away for use of mirrors. When you do have gaps that is this tight, it is good to reduce the speed for the gaps. Remember, the aim is to have a 1 meter gap around all of you, so at the sides, at the front as well. It gives you like a protective oval bubble. If you can't have the bubble, reduce the speed. Now, turning left onto this road, you do not need a signal, but the car that you see in front, if they're also turning this way, you guys don't have priority over each other. So when moving out, do be cautious. Notice there's a blockage on the left hand side. As soon as they've passed it, they move back into the left hand lane after checking their mirrors. The left hand lane is always the normal driving lane, unless you're going to be shortly turning right. Or of course there's a blockage in your current lane. So remember, always try to keep to the left hand lane if there's no blockage or you're not going to be turning right. The arrows you see on the floor coming up are just to let you know not to drive into the bus lane. It doesn't mean you need to move over into the right hand lane. At the split in the road, the examiner will make it very clear which way they want you to go. Normally they'll say follow the road signs. They've been advised they're going to be shortly turning right. The examiner will sometimes say this just to let you know that you should be planning to move over into the right hand lane. You can only move over when it is safe to do so, so start planning early. When you do move back over to the right hand lane, remember to maintain your speed. You don't want to let it drop too slow as you're now in the fast lane. These lights can stay red for quite a while, and when they turn green, they don't stay green for long. I would suggest you do use the handbrake here, as your leg may be getting tired with the clutch. Entering this road can get a little bit tight. They kept it nice and slow, it was just under 20 miles per hour. That way they could see how much space was everywhere. Remember, you want to try and leave that 1 meter gap in front of you, at the sides of you and behind you, so it gives you like a little protective oval bubble. If you can't maintain the bubble, reduce the speed. Coming up, there's a few row of shops and cars always parked up on the left. Remember, reduce the speed if it's narrowed. So less space, less haste. At this roundabout, they're going right. The roundabout coming up can be quite awkward, mainly because of its shape. They've been told that they're going on the first left. You'll notice they are a little bit hesitant here. Remember, things have sped up. They did pick up points for hesitancy here. All they're doing now is following the road ahead. This road can be quite simple. There's only a few different T-junctions that lead onto the road that you need to be careful of. When getting asked to pull up, remember, they'll always be presuming that you are not going to block driveways. There may be some occasions where they do say, don't mind driveways on this occasion. So when pulling over, you need to think scalp, safe, convenient and legal place. So I beg you, please don't park like most of your relatives who half mount the pavement. Again, quite a simple road. There's a couple of cars parked up on either side, and that's when you need to be careful if there is any oncoming vehicles. If the road's clear though, you're fine. You'll notice there is a lot more cars parked up on this one. It is quite empty, so generally it is fine. Now the blue sign is telling you you must only be on this side. It is now like a one-way road. And then notice how quickly it opens up again, so do be cautious of this. Remember, the main aim is to not slow anyone down, inconvenience anyone, or change their course of driving. So this is now their hill start. That's why they've been asked to pull over on the left, because there is a good old chunky hill here. Remember to practice hill starts in as many different areas as you can, as they can pick anywhere to make you stop and do this. You will notice they are a little bit slower at moving off. Because I wasn't there, I'm not actually quite sure what was going on. I think it was just a bit of hesitancy, getting themselves ready at the bite. And up ahead, I'm not quite sure what's going on. It looks like there's a bunch of caravans getting moved into the park on the right, but he leaves them plenty of space. And now for the trickiest part, in my opinion, of this test is joining Coventry Road. They are a bit fortunate that at the moment there is a little bit of traffic, so you need to immediately be looking to the right and looking for potential gaps. Remember, you cannot slow anyone down by moving out. Have your feet ready. If they're in the far right lane, you can move out. As they moved out, this car behind it did flash them and they did start waving them out. That is acceptable as long as the flash is made for you. You have to make sure that they slow down to begin with. The last thing you want is for them to flash you, you move out, it's not intended for you. They moved over to the right lane as they got told they're shortly going to be turning right. The examiners will sometimes let you know this just to give you a bit of a helping hand. Now they start to reduce their speed because they looked at the road markings and it's warning you that there's hazards ahead. If you know this area, you'll know that there is quite a few crossings up ahead. And I have slowed this down so you can see the point at where they failed. They were going to go straight through this light like that very naughty silver car. Action was taken, so it did go down as a dangerous fault. The lights were amber for quite a while. Now, amber means stop if it's safe to do so. A lot of people think it means get ready to stop. That is not the case. So before this point, it was a pass, and this is the point where it ended, because they were going to try and beat the lights. With the mini roundabouts, remember, you must make every effort to go around them. If it's not possible because of the size of it and a little bit of your tyre touches it, that's acceptable, as long as you make the effort to slow down. Now, let's be looking at the speed limits and how they change around here. You'll notice a repeated speed sign on the left. They were going over the speed limit here, maybe distracted because they'd know they failed, but make sure you're reading all of the road signs. This is now a 20 stretch for quite a while. And all of the roads around here, they do vary quite a bit. They'll go back to 30 to 20, etc. So you will need to be very vigilant with reading the road signs. And you'll notice it's still a 20 and they are in a school zone. The signs here are quite decent and they're quite easy to see. They're not blocked by trees or anything like that. They got us to pull over on the left. They said ignore driveways and markers and just pull over on the left. So they did. So we all know why they're here. They're doing a pull up on the right and reverse 2 cars lengths maneuver. It started off well, good all round observations. There was absolutely no bad comments to say about that. Now, I think they moved forward to give themselves a little bit of space between the curbs, so they were probably a little bit closer. It wasn't marked down, so I'm not quite sure what it was. They would have looked all the way around beforehand, however, otherwise they would have been marked down. Coming up, this can be quite a busy junction to emerge from. The cars on the other side, they always seem to be going much faster than the speed limit, so do emerge with caution. So be cautious of speed limits down here. Again, they do vary from 20 to 30 because you're entering a school zone. Can't record anymore as there is examiners in the test centre, but I hope you found this useful.